Hello everyone, so this is the second video for our topic number series for CAT. In this video, we are going to solve a lot of practice questions to broaden our horizon and make us familiar with the questions of number series. But before we begin with these questions, I want all of you to understand that in order to solve the number series questions on time, you need to be thorough with these three things. What are they? The first is 1 to 100 prime numbers. The second is 1 to 40 squares, and the third is 1 to 15 cubes. And if you can do it till 20, that's even better. We need to memorize all of these three things by heart. Okay, so now let's move on to the question. So our first question is, it states 6, 3, 3, 4.5, 9, 22.5, and there is a blank, then 236.25. As you can see that the series is first increasing. The first series is first decreasing and then increasing rapidly. Therefore, we can conclude that this is a multiplicative series. Now the question is, how do we get from 6 to 3? So we get from 6 to 3 by multiplying it by 0.5. Now how do we get from 3 to 3? By multiplying it by 1. From 3 to 4.5, we go by multiplying it by 1.5. And I'm sure that all of you can see the pattern here, that we are multiplying the numbers in the progressions of 0.5. So from 4.5 to 9, we all know that it's a double, so it will be multiplied by 2. From 9 to 22.5, it's a multiplication of 2.5. From 22.5 to the number that we really want will be a multiplicative of 3. Okay, so how do we get it? We have to multiply 22.5 now, 22.5 into 3. And here the correct answer is 67.5. Therefore, the correct answer is 67.5. And to verify this, we can also do this, that we can see that 67.5 into 3.5 should be this. And is that the right answer? Let's see that if you multiply 67.5 into 3.5, yes, we do get the right answer, which is 236.25. So here the correct answer is 67.5. So 67.5 is our correct answer for this series. Now let's move on to question number 2. Okay, so here once again, we need to get from 17 to 9.5, then to 11.5, then 20.5 and 44.5. Once again, here the series is first decreasing and then increasing. Okay, so how do we get from 17 to 19.5? Okay, if you ask me, that we can always just multiply it by 0.5 and then add 1 to it, because 17 into 0.5 gives us 8.5 and then we add 1 to it, so it's 9.5. But from 9.5 to 11.5, what we need to do is multiply it by 1 and then add 2 to it. Okay, I'm sure that all of you are able to see a little bit of pattern here, but to verify the pattern, we will do it once again. So according to the pattern, now from 11.5 to 20.25, we have to multiply it by 1.5 and then add 3 to it, which does gives us 20.25. Now from here on, from 20.25, if we have to multiply it by 2 and add 4 to it, that gives us 44.5. To get the answer to this series and the next number, what we have to do? We have to multiply 44.45 into 2.5 and then add 5 to it. Okay, so we have to multiply 44.5 into 2.5. So if we do that, what do we get? So 44.5 into 2.5. So this particularly gives us 111.25. And now we have to add 5 to it to get the right answer. So 116.25 here is the right answer. So here the correct answer is 116.25. Okay, great. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, so here the series is going like 1, 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so not much of a pattern to be seen here. So it's 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, but then the 1 is repeating at the start. Okay, so let's try to do the method that we learned earlier of the Fibonacci series here. Okay, What was the Fibonacci series? In Fibonacci series, the previous two numbers summation gave us the next number. Okay, so maybe that logic fits here, maybe not, and maybe it fits in a different way. Let's try to do it. Okay, so first of all, how do we get from, how do we get basically 2 here? Okay, so let's try to do it. So assuming that we add 1 and 1 and we skip a number, so we get 2. Okay, and then if we add 1 plus 3, then once again we skip a number and we get 4. Okay, that seems like a pattern here. Not the exact Fibonacci series, but it seems like it. Okay, let's try it once again. So this time if we go 3 plus 2, then again we skip a number and we should get the summation, which is 5. And what about if we once again add 2 plus 4, skip a number and we get 6. Okay, that is actually the pattern that is being formed here. So to get the next number, what do we have to do? Now this time we have to add 4 plus 5. Then we skip a number and we get the number 9. So here the correct answer is 9. Okay, great. So see, this was basically, the calculations here were really easy. All we need to do is to find the logic in the series, and sometimes it just, gets done very fast. But if you're not able to find the logic in the first place, then it gets very tough even if there are no calculations in the series. Okay, let's move on to question number 4. So in question number 4, the series is going 11, 4, 15, 0, 19, minus 4, 23. Okay. So you see, we can see that, if the number is first decreasing and then increasing, then decreasing, then increasing, then decreasing, then increasing. So whenever something like this happens, we always give the opportunity of making it an alternate series. Okay. So we now have in the mind that it might be an alternate series and we try to solve it that way. So 11 to 15 is basically plus 4. 15 to 19 again plus 4, and 19 to 23 is again plus 4. So you can see the pattern here, right? So if it was a number beyond this, it would have been again plus 4 and it would have been 27. But that is not our question here. We have to find this blank number. So let's look at the other part of this alternate series. Okay. So here it goes like 4 to 0. So that's basically minus 4. Then 0 to minus 4. That's once again minus 4. So from minus 4 to this number would again be a minus 4, and that the answer would be minus 8. So here the correct answer is minus 8. Now see, once we open up our mind to the possibility of an alternate series, these questions become very easy to solve. Okay, great. Now let's move on to question number 5. So here it starts from 168, 42, 12, 4, 1.6, 0.8. So here we will try to find the pattern from the end. So we will try to find the pattern from here to here. Okay. And why we are doing it? Because it is easier to find a pattern in an increasing series than finding a pattern in the decreasing series. Okay. So how do we grow from 0.8 to 1.6? The easiest way to do it is to multiply it by 2. From 1.6 to 4, all we have to do is to multiply it by 2.5. From 4 to 12, it's a multiplication of 3. From 12 to 42, it's a multiplicative of 3.5. And then from 42 to 168, it is a multiplication of 4. So as you can clearly see, the pattern is being formed here, that all we had to do was multiply it, so from 0.8 we multiply it by 2, then we get 1.6. So again, the multiplicative part is increasing in 0.5 progressions. Okay, great. Now how do we get the next number? So to get the next number, what do we have to do? We have to now get a number which, when multiplied by 1.5, would give us 0.8. Okay, so now how do we do it? So like now we already know the logic of the multiplicative part. So let's move on to the decreasing part so that we are able to get the answer. Okay, So this means that if we got the multiplication part, this means that if we multiply, if we divide 168 by 4, we get 42. Here similarly it's 3.5 here, divided by 3 is here, then division by 2.5, and then it's a division of 2. So here what we have to do, we have to divide 0.8 by 1.5. Okay, so let's do that. So now we are going to divide 0.8 divided by 1.5. So that's basically 8 by 15. Okay, so we can write 8 by 15 here, or if we have the options, we can also choose the, the closest part to it. But if you point it out, so 8.15 what is close to 0.533. So there is a bar on 3. It could be approximated to 0.534. So it could be something like this, but then again, it depends on the options that you're getting, if it's in a fraction form or it's in the decimal form. Okay, great. Now let's move on to question number 6. So in question number 6, we have 1, 2, 9, 64 and 625. So here once again, if you understand the cubes and the squares, so the pattern is really simple that is being formed here. Okay. So 1 is basically 1 to the power 0. 2 is basically 2 to the power 1. 9 is basically 3 to the power 2. 64 is basically 4 to the power 3. 625 is basically 5 to the power 4. So here it would be 6 to the power 5. So here it would be 6 to the power 5. Now we need to find out what is 6 to the power 5. So the easy way to calculate it is basically that we multiply 6 to power 3 into 6 power 2. So here we get 216 into 6 into 6. That goes on to 296 into 6, making it 7,800 minus 4 into 6, which gives us our answer 7,776. Therefore, our correct answer is 7,776. So if you have a calculator, then again it's much easier to do, but without a calculator still the calculation is still very easy if you follow this method. Okay, great. Now let's move on to the next question. So here the next question states 2, 7, 40, 341 and then there is a blank. Now this question is actually a very hard question without understanding the pattern, and it can take a lot of time to solve. So why don't you all pause the video and try to do it on your own. Okay, so pause this video and try to do it on your own, then when we will try to solve it together. Okay, so I'm assuming that all of you have tried the question and I hope that most of you got the answer, but let's try to solve it together here. Okay, so here what is 2 basically? 2 is nothing but 1 power 0 plus 1. But then what is 7 then? 7 is basically nothing but 2 to the power 0 plus 2 to the power 1 plus 2 to the power 2. Then what is 40? 40 should be technically 3 to the power 0 plus 3 to the power 1 plus 3 to the power 2 plus 3 to the power 3. Okay, great. So I can see that you can understand the pattern, that for the next number what we have to do, we have to get the number in the consecutive series. So 1, 2, 3, then 4, and then then add it till the n number. So basically for 341 what we will do, 4 to the power 0 plus 4 to the power 1 plus 4 to the power 2 plus 4 to the power 3 plus 4 to the power 4. Similarly for the number that we really want, so the next number, for whatever that number would be, we have to do 5 to the power 0 plus 5 to the power 1 plus 5 to the power 2 plus 5 to the power 3 plus 5 to the power 4 plus 5 to the power 5. Now if you solve this, you will get your number. So let's solve it. So here it would be 1 plus 5 plus 25 plus 125 plus 625 and plus 3125. Okay. Now if we get to the next part, then we add all of this. So the number that will come up to us will be 3906. So that would be our answer. So here the correct answer is 3906. So you see, once you understand the logic here, solving it was easier. But getting to this logic is the biggest part. And why we are solving these questions here? Because when you solve these questions, you will understand that even these type of logics can be given in the questions. So your mind is always open to understanding and putting different logics when you see a series. Okay, great. Now let's move on to question number 8. So basically this is a fractional series. So it's 1 by 2, 2 by 3, 3 by 4, 8 by 9, 27 by 32. Now this is a very easy pattern being formed. Okay, and I'm sure that all of you would be able to do it on your own, if given a couple of minutes. So go ahead, pause the video and try doing it on your own. Okay, I assume that all of you have already done this question very easily, but let's, for the sake of it, let's do it here once again. So we can see clearly the pattern being formed there. It's 1 into 3 gives us 3. So it's the crisscross pattern. Then 3 into 3 gives us 9. 3 into 9 gives us 27. Okay. Now for the numerator, what do we have to do? 2 into 2 gives us 4. 2 into 4 gives us 8. 4 into 8 gives us 32. Now for the next, what we have to do? 8 into 32 will be the right answer here for the numerator. And for the denominator, what we have to do? 9 into 27 will give us the denominator. So what is basically 8 into 32? So 8 into 32 is 256. And what is our denominator for this? 9 into 27, which is 243. So here the correct answer is 256 by 243. Right, so it was a fairly simple question on fractions, but again these type of question can also be asked, and a different logic could have been put here. But you can see it was a very clear logic here, and I'm sure that all of you have already solved this question. Now let's move on to question number 9. Okay, now this let's look at it. So basically 7, 11, 20, 34, 58, 97. Now as you can see that this is not a multiplicative series, okay, because the numbers are increasing on a very slow rate. It's not very rapid increase. So let's try doing the difference method here. Okay, first let's try to do the difference method here. So 7, 11, so we have to find differences between all of these. Okay, so here the difference is of 4, here is it's of 9, here is it of 14, then here is it of 24, and then again that would again go on. But here we can see that clearly that no pattern is being formed. 4, 99, 14, 24. So there is no clear pattern to be formed or seen here. Okay, so let's try another method. Okay, so let's try another method for this question. So for this, again, when these type of things don't work out, so I generally what I try to do is that I try to put the Fibonacci series method if that actually fits into it. Okay, so once again we'll start from the third digit so that we can come to it. So we put 20 equals to 11 plus 7, but that is only 18. So we add 2 to it. Okay. Now once again let's try 34. For 34 it states 11 plus 20, but then that's again just 31. So I will try to add 3 to it. That will give me 34. Once again for 58 this time, what I will do, I will add 20 plus 34, but that still gives me only 54. So I will add 4 to it. I'm sure that all of you are able to see the pattern till now. What do we have to do? It is a type of Fibonacci series, and how we are getting to it? So we take the number, and how do we get it? So we add the remaining 2 numbers and then add 2, 3, 4 in consecutive series. So basically this is why for 97 For 97 we would have 34 plus 58 plus 5. This will give us 97. So to get this new number, what do we have to do? We have to add, for this new number, what do we have to do? We have to add 97 plus 58 and then add 6 to it. So if we do that, what do we get? For 97 plus 58 plus 6. So the number we get here would be 161. So here the correct answer is 161, because 97 plus 58 gives us 155, and then adding 6 to it will give us 161. So that is the correct answer here. Now this is the last question for the video, which is question number 10. Let's understand the logic here, because it's a very interesting question. Okay. So it's series 12, 30, 120, 460, 1368, 2730. Now very clearly it is a multiplicative series, because the numbers are increasing very rapidly. Okay. Now how do we get to it? Now you can try the method of going from 12 to 30, then 30 to 120, 120 to 460, 460 to 1368, and 1368 to 2730. But the problem is that finding a pattern like this will be very hard. Why? Because 12 to 30 could be reached in a couple of ways. We could say that 12 to 30 could be into 2 plus 6, or we could say it is into 3 minus 6. And then if we have to do this for all of these, it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort. So when we get questions like this and we are sure it's a multiplicative series, what is the better way? The better way is to try to find the logic from the end. Okay, so instead of trying to go from 12 to 30, I will go directly from 1368 to 2730. Okay, and how do we get from 1368 to 2730, and why it is easy? See, understand, because from 1360 to 2730 there can be a multiplication of only 2 or 3. So because if we go over that, we know that the number is going to get a lot bigger than 2730. It's only 2 or only till 3 at max it would go. Right? So here we can see from 1368 to 2730, the easiest way to go is into 2 and then minus 6. Okay. And then from 460 to 1368. How do we go from here to here? We multiply it by 3 and then minus 12. Okay. Now from 120 to 460. For 120 to 460, this time if you see the pattern, technically it should be multiplied by 4. Okay. So we are multiplying it by 4. And this time we are minusing 20. Okay. So the pattern is being formed. So from 30 to 120, we all know that this should be into 5. That's 150. Then we are going to subtract 30. And for 12 to 112 to 30, it should be into 6. So so we have to multiply 12 into 6 and then minus 42. That is how we get 30. Okay, so because 12 6 is 72, and then we have to minus 42. Okay, now let's try to find the pattern here for the next series. So for this, we would have to multiply it by 1. But the question is that what do we subtract here? Okay, so question is what do we subtract here? So if we look at it, we have 12 and 6. So there is a difference of, at first 6 here. For 12 and 20, we have a difference of 8. For 20 and 30, the difference is 10. 30 and 42, the difference is 12. So it is decreasing by, in the progression of 2. So for here, the difference should just be 4. And how do we get this? If we are minusing only 2 out of it. So 2730 into 1 minus 2, which clearly gives us 2728. So the correct answer is 2728. Now with this, we have come to the end of this video, and I am sure that solving all of these questions together with me, you have been able to, broaden your horizon, and now you know all the kind of logics that you could put in number series. Now see, number series is a very infinite topic, and the type of questions and the logic depends on the person who is making the questions. But knowing how many logics and different type of logics that can be put in a question helps you understand and solve the question at a much faster rate. Now I would request all of you to go and look at the documents on the EduRev to get to know number series better, and try solving the test and get good grades on it, the good rank on it, so that you are able to hone your test skills also while you are understanding the concept. Thank you so much all for watching. Hope to see you in the next video.